So welcome back. Last sessions were on one-dimensional array and two-dimensional array, and we have seen some examples using one-dimensional array and two-dimensional array. Today we will move on to something known as strings. So before going into the presentation, we will try out some programs and understand why or where we use strings. So I'll write a simple program. I'll save this program in my default folder. I'll name the file as number.c. So this is the program, not complete. I'll complete it now. I hope you know what is meant by this line. This is saying that in this program I'll be using a variable n which can hold an integer value. So n is an integer variable. In other words, the data type of the variable n is int, and I'm asking the user to enter a number. So when the user enters a number, I have to scan that number and put it inside n. How we can do that? We can use the scanf function. So these two lines are very familiar to you, so I am not going into much detail of these two lines. The next thing what I am doing is I'll just say you have entered number and the number I have entered. Let's write printf /n you have entered %d. You know what is this %d is? You have entered %d means it won't print %d there, but we have to put what should come there. So what will be the output of the program? If you run this program, I'll run it. Enter a number. I will enter 56. So it is displaying you have entered 56. So this is what this program does. Suppose instead of a number, I want to say enter a name or enter a word, or else something like what is your name, where are you from, something like that. The answer to those questions are not a number, but it is a word, like if or a group of letters, group of characters. That group of characters are known as a string in C. So instead of n as an integer value, I need something to hold a word or a string. So we can do that in C using a character array. Character means if I say char a and I write enter a letter, and instead of scanf %d, if a is a character, I have to put %c and a, then you have entered %d, I have to change it as c, and this I have to change it as a. I'll put a slash in here. I change this program. Instead of a number, I am accessing I'm asking the user to enter a letter. So how this program will look like? I will recompile the program and the program again. It will say enter a letter. I will say M. So you have entered M. So I change the program so that the user enters a letter. So this data type, instead of int, I have used character. The problem with this is that this variable can contain only one letter. Let's see what happens when we enter more than one letter here. Even then it is showing that you have entered M. That is because A can contain only one letter at a time. So even if you enter more than one letter, it will accept only one letter. So that's why we are getting one letter. So we need to get more than one letter at a time. So in that case, we need an array of characters or a sequence of characters. So we can declare an array of integers as int a within square bracket the size of the array, that we have seen when we explained one-dimensional array. Similarly, an array of characters can be declared like this. This means that A is an array of characters. So, and the maximum number of characters that A can contain is 10. So array of characters means sequence of characters that becomes a string. When you put up letters one after the other, it becomes a string. So this is a character array. In C, this A is called a string. Character array is also known as a string. Okay, so printf enter a letter. Instead of letter, we can say enter a name. So definitely we cannot use C here because C is used for a single character. Here we are going for a string. We can say S here. So percentage D is for accepting an integer, percentage C is for accepting a single character, percentage S is for accepting a string. We need to change this C to S. One more thing you have to remember is that while scanning a string, you don't have to put ampersand symbol before the variable's name. We will explain why it is so in a later session, but now you just have to remember that on all other cases we have put up ampersand symbol before the variable name, but if you are accepting a string, you don't have to, or you must not put an ampersand symbol before A. Okay, so that's it. In the last line, printf, you have entered percentage C should be changed to percentage S, and then again A remains the same. So let's see how this program behaves now. So why this comes, I didn't compile the program, so I'll just skip this thing, clear the screen, and recompile the program, run the program again, enter a name. So I have entered the word Nehru. Then it will say you have entered Nehru. So the difference between the previous program or previous version of this program and this one is that previously even when you put Nehru there, it will print only N because it can accept only one character. Now we have used a character array called a string so that it can contain more than one letter at a time. So this is what basically a string is. So if you are dealing with a program which needs some operations on strings, then you have to use character array. First we will define what is a string, then we will move on to how we can declare a string and use it. Finally we will work on some examples to understand the concepts thoroughly. So basically a string is a sequence of characters that is treated as a single item. You know that sequence can be termed as an array for a programming language. So a string is a sequence or array of characters that is treated as a single item. Any group of characters enclosed between a double quotation mark or a pair of double quotation marks is a string constant. We'll see some examples, but you just need to know a string is nothing but a group of characters enclosed between two double quotation marks. So that is a string constant. Next we will see how to declare a string. A string is declared using this syntax. First, we will use the data type char. Char stands for character. It is one of the primary data types in C. Followed by string name, that is the name of the variable, followed by the size of the string in square brackets. So in case of one-dimensional array, we have written an integer array. We have declared an integer array like int a within square bracket size. For some example, 10. Likewise, instead of int, if we put char, then it becomes a string. Here size determines the maximum number of characters in the string. Let's see an example for initialization. This is an example for compile time initialization. We have declared a string variable known as city, and within square bracket we have put up 9. So that means that city can contain 9 letters, maximum 9 letters. It can be less than that, but it cannot be more than that. So this first line initializes city to New York. How many letters are there in this word? So in the previous slide we have mentioned that any sequence of characters enclosed between two double quotation marks is called a string constant. So in this line, this New York is an example for a string constant, and this city is an example for a string variable. Hope you understand what I mean. City is a string variable, New York is a string constant. You can compare it with an integer value, like if I write int a equal to 5, then 5 is an integer constant and a is an integer variable. Likewise, in this line, New York is a string constant and city is a string variable. Let's see whether this number of letters in this string constant is below 9. 1, 2, 3, space is a character, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is okay. The number of letters in this one is 8. So New York can fit inside this variable city. Another way to declare this variable, string variable city, is like this. We have mentioned that string is a sequence of characters. So we can write down sequence of characters in this format. N within single quotation. If you put something in single quotation, that means it's a character. So each character we will put up in single quotation and then separate them with a comma. So N, E, W, space, Y, O, R, K, and some strange character is shown here. This is known as a null character in C. In C, string has a particular character known as a null character with which it terminates. For example, in this line, when you initialize a string variable to New York, the compiler will automatically put a /0 or null character at the end of the string. So actually here there are 9 characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus a null character. So 9 characters are there, but we will see only 8 of them. Null character is not visible for the user. But if you initialize a string variable in this format, you need to put /0 separately. So which will be better option, the first one or second one for initializing a string variable? Definitely you will go for the first one, because it is easy to initialize a variable by writing the variable without any comma or single quotation marks, right, inside two double quotation. Then it will be more easier to write, and we don't have to put a /0 at the end. C will automatically put it at the end when you do like this. But in this case, when you initialize a string variable like this, then you need to put /0. Even though there are 2 letters here, /0 is treated as a single character by C, and it is known as a null character. So one more thing, one more time I'm saying that null character is a character using which C terminates a string. That's what mentioned here. When the compiler assigns a character string to a character array, it automatically puts a null character /0 at the end of the string. In this case, it will automatically put, but in the second case, since we are initializing with separate characters for each letter, we need to put up a /0 at the end. So the second point says, if a character array is initialized by listing its element, like in this format, null character should be supplied explicitly. Explicitly means you need to mention it here. One more thing you need to notice is that size should be the maximum number of characters in the string plus 1. So you might be thinking that New York has 8 letters here, including the space, but if we put 8 here, it will create an error because C will put a null character at the end, so we need a space for that too. So when you want to put a string in a string variable, you will have to put the size as 1 character extra than the maximum letters in a string. So here New York will fit inside this city. This line, char, greeting and square bracket, nothing inside the square brackets, equal to hello world. Whether this syntax has anything wrong in it, as I mentioned previously, we will put up the size inside the square bracket, but C allows this kind of syntax also. So we don't have to put up a size inside a square bracket if we are initializing and declaring on the same line. In this example, we are declaring a string and initializing at the same line. So C will automatically count the number of letters in the string constant and then make the size of greeting as that many characters. So what will be the size of greeting here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus 1, 12. So greeting will be having size 12. We don't have to put up here explicit. That's what mentioned here. C permits to initialize a character array without specifying the size of the array. In such cases, size of the array will be determined automatically based on the number of elements initialized. Size of the array will be 12 in this example. Let's see one more initialization example. Char greeting within square brackets 10 equal to hello. Is this okay or any error in this line? This is perfectly fine because we are declaring array, greeting array as maximum size equal to 10 and our string constant has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1, 6 characters in it. So 6 is less than 10. So this is fine. So we can declare a size larger than the string size in the initializer. So this number should be larger than the number of characters on the string constant. So what will be the values in the other places? Like if you put HELLO in the array, greeting of 0 will be having H, greeting of 1 will be having E, 2L, 3L, 4L. What will be the values in the other? What I meant is greeting as, it will be like this when you declare a variable like HELLO. There are 10 spaces booked already for greeting, so the remaining places will be filled up with /0 or null character by C automatically. Then we'll see one more example. Char greeting 3 is equal to hello. Is there anything wrong in this one? This will create a error. Why? because we know that hello has 1 2 3 4 5 plus 1 6 characters in this one, but we have mentioned only 3 here. So greeting cannot accommodate hello, so this will produce an error. So size cannot be smaller than the string size, hence the above example will create an error, so this is wrong. One more example. Can we declare and initialize in 2 lines? Like I have declared a greeting array like this, greeting 10, and in the next line greeting is equal to hello. According to C, initialization cannot be separated from declaration for a string. This can be done for an integer. For example, when I say int a semicolon, and in the next line I can put a equal to 5 semicolon. That is perfectly fine because integer does not have any problem with that. But for string variables, you cannot declare a string in one line and then initialize the string in a separate line. We have to put on the same line. Char greeting 10 is equal to hello on the same line. So this will also create an error. This is also wrong. One more example. Char greeting 10 is equal to hello. Anything wrong in it? Nothing wrong in it because hello is having only 6 letters and greeting has a size of 10, so it can fit hello. It's okay. Second line, any error? Char greet 10. Here we are declaring another string variable greet, which can contain 10 letters maximum. That is also fine. Third line, greet is equal to greeting. What will be the output? This third line will create an error because C does not allow you to assign a string variable's value to another string variable. In case of an integer variable, you can declare an integer value and assign a value to it, declare another integer value, and you can assign the first integer variable value to the second integer variable value. But this is not possible for a string, so this will create an error. So the rule is a character array name cannot be used on the left hand side of an assignment operator. So you cannot put a string variable on the left hand side of an equal to or assignment operator. This will create an error. So this is also an error. What we have seen up to now is compile time initialization. We are putting the value while writing the program itself. You might be thinking, if there is no error in this line, then why we need the syntax like this, char greet 10. We will need this when we are using runtime initialization, or else when we are not sure what will be the value in greeting when you write the program. You will get to know it only when you run the program. So initializing a string at compile time, we have seen that. Now we'll move on to runtime initialization. We have seen an example doing that runtime initialization. We will explain one more time how to do runtime initialization. As you know that runtime initialization can be done using a scanf function in C. So this is an example for that. Char name 10. Now you can see that there is no equal to symbol here, and we are not initializing it to any particular value name. And in the next line, scanf %s name. This will ask the user to enter a name, and that value will be put inside name. So this is runtime initialization because we don't know what will be inside name when you write the program. So that is basically a runtime initialization means. And in C, you know that every string terminates with a null character. And this scanf has also one more speciality. Scanf terminates the input on the first space it finds. That means if you enter a word like New York as input, only new will be read into the array name. That means York will be removed. That is, whenever it finds a space, it will cut there. So if you enter New York, then it will, name will only have new. Scanf function automatically terminates the string that is read with a null character. a string in C terminates with a null character, but you don't have to put /0 manually. C will automatically put at the end of the string. Okay, so that is scanf function. Therefore, the character array should be large enough to hold the input string plus a null character. That we have already mentioned what that means is. We have to put an extra space for the last null character at the end of the string. So when you declare an array of characters, size should be enough to hold that null character also. The second point you might notice is that there is no and symbol before the variable name. In all previous examples, the scanf had an ampersand symbol before the name of a variable, but in case of string variable, you don't have to put an ampersand symbol before the name of the variable. The unused locations will be filled with garbage. Means, suppose I am entering a name as ABC. Still there are space for 7 more letters. So what will be there in the other location? At the first location or the 0th index of name will have the first letter I have entered. The first index will have the second letter I have entered, and so on. The remaining locations will be filled with the garbage value. Garbage means we don't know what will be the value there. Some garbage value will be there. Garbage means waste, so waste value. So we are not sure what will be there. So this will be the case then. So enter New York. N will be at name 0. E will be at name 1. W will be at name 2. And this C will automatically put at the end. All other places are question mark. This doesn't mean that question mark will be there. This means we are not sure what will be here. Those values are called garbage values. So there is a problem. What will you do if you want to enter a word with the space in it? For example, you want to enter New York. What is the option? In that case, you cannot use a scanf function. You have something else known as getS function. You can do char line 10 get line. This means you can enter any word with the space. The space will also be available in line. So this is an option for reading a string which contains space. The getS function is used for that. Now we will move on to the reverse, writing string. Writing string is done using printf function. The %s is used for printing a string. Name will be printed in this place. So that is how you will write a string. For writing string, we can also use a function called the puts function. Both of them are almost same. The difference is that printf will just print the string. Puts will also print the string plus a new line. You don't have to put a new line. The cursor will move to the next line when you use the puts function, but printf won't do that.